Hello, I'm Tim Brick, and I represent the City of Pasadena on the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. Mention the name Mulholland, and you probably think of a scenic mountain highway, or perhaps a beautiful fountain on Los Feliz in Los Angeles, or a recent movie. But William Mulholland was the man who built the great water systems that made the growth and development of Los Angeles and Southern California possible. Mulholland was a heroic, tragic figure of Greek proportions, a man of great accomplishments with a great tragedy near the end of his life, the collapse of the St. Francis Dam. You've probably heard the story of Mulholland in the Owens Valley. In the reenactment you're about to see, you'll learn about Mulholland's involvement with the Colorado River and with the great aqueduct that the Metropolitan Water District built. I hope it'll make a piece of the history of Southern California come alive for you. Thank you.
Top of the morning to you. William Mulholland's the name, though most just call me Chief. I first saw the Colorado River in 1877. My brother Hugh and I had hardly set foot in the dusty pueblo of Los Angeles when the lure of gold drew us to the Arizona Territory. Prospecting was a dangerous business in those days, but young as we were, we paid no mind to the threat of Indian uprisings. When we got to Ehrenberg near Yuma, we took jobs on the steamboats working the Colorado River in order to pay for our prospecting, until one day the U.S. Army came riding through town, warning all who would listen that Geronimo and the Apaches might be on the warpath. Well, that was all the encouragement that we needed. This was a case in which presence of mind was best served by absence of body. We hightailed it back to Los Angeles, but that great river stayed with me like a powerful dream. That was before I had discovered my life quest. I was only 23 years old. I hadn't yet drilled a well or tended a water ditch. I didn't yet understand the centrality of water to the growth and health of Southern California. It would be more than 40 years before I truly understood the significance of the Colorado River. By then, we had tapped the eastern Sierra Nevadas, and Los Angeles was a thriving city. But we needed electricity for our future. And on the Colorado River, the farmers in the Imperial Valley needed flood protection. Boulder Dam was the answer for both. From 1920 on, I went back to Washington, D.C. repeatedly with Van Orman and Scattergood and Matthews to fight the Power Trust and to make sure that Southern California got the electricity that we needed. Electricity was our prime motivation, but the drought of 1923 taught us that we needed the water in that great river too, or Los Angeles would be dry by 1947. And so, in October of 1923, my men and I took a brush clearing expedition to the Colorado River. Well, that's what we told the reporters back in Los Angeles and in Phoenix too, because Arizona was already vexed by the Colorado Compact. We took the Union Pacific to Las Vegas, and from there we took rowboats on a 5-day float, riding that brown serpent through 150 miles of stark terrain. And when we got to Parker and we looked back on the river, I said to my men, "That's where we get our water." It would be a monumental task. I knew that from the beginning. No Owens Valley aqueduct with a downhill flow the whole way. No, we had to slide over and around and through the mountains, 4 times bigger. Why, we needed Boulder Dam and the power that it would produce. 4 months later, I was back in Washington testifying at a hearing, a congressional hearing, for the Swing-Johnson Act that would build Boulder Dam. Congressman Swing asked me not to, but I had to tell the assembled legislators, I am here today to seek a domestic water source for the city of Los Angeles, and that injects a new phase into this matter. It certainly did. Arizona redoubled their opposition to Boulder Dam. I came back from that hearing convinced that Boulder Dam would be built, but the bill was bitterly fought for almost 5 years more. During that time, I sent 16 survey parties out to scout 60,000 square miles of desert and 5 alternative routes. But in the end, the best route, with a few small exceptions, was the one that I had sketched without the aid of instruments during that brush clearing expedition. Finally, in December of 1928, Congress passed the Swing-Johnson Act and the President signed it. It was a great day for Southern California. And that same week, the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California held its first meeting at the Huntington Hotel in Pasadena. But by then, I had other things to worry about. But let me leave with you here today the message that I gave to the crowd that had gathered for the celebration of the commencement of construction of the Colorado River Aqueduct near Cabazon in 1933. It was my last public appearance. Well, I said, anything I might say here to you today is pretty old stuff. I've been tramping through these hills since '77, and I'm getting on. But I'm glad to be of service to you and to this community forever.